Hi, I'm Sarah Crawley and welcome to today's Live Well panel. Today we're going to be talking about one of my favourite topics, which is skincare. And I'm delighted that we're joined today by SJ, who is the Beauty Director of the Boots Health and Beauty magazine, and Dr. Mike Bell, who is Head of Skin Science Research at Boots. So welcome, guys.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Sarah.
Hello, so lovely to see you both, and I can't wait to get into our discussion today. I've been a skincare junkie since a young age, from delving through my mum's drawers and kind of trying out her products to kind of then first going into probably Boots and kind of exploring the aisles there, all the way through to an experience I had, which was probably quite a unique one, where I actually had the opportunity to work in some of the Boots labs, just supporting. So I've been able to see kind of the full breadth of skincare, from the products on the shelf all the way through to kind of what happens behind the scenes. And I think it's probably fair to say, and I'm sure you'll both vouch for it, that skincare is a topic that will be important to all of us, but in different ways, be it, you know, depending on our skin types, our age, which part of our body we might be interested in as well. They all have different needs. So yeah, looking forward to hearing both of your thoughts on this topic today. And I guess if we start with the face and thinking about kind of good practice from a facial skincare perspective, SJ, I know that kind of everyone talks about having a really good skincare routine and the importance of that, but for some of us, it can be quite challenging to work out what is a good skincare routine and actually how to get into one. So what would your tips be around routines?
I think you're so right, Sarah. I think there's so much confusion out there about what products should you be using, what order should you be using them in, how much should you be using, and ultimately, where do you start? And it's really hard to give a kind of one answer fits all, because one answer doesn't fit all when it comes to skincare, because like you said, you know, we've all got different skin types, we've all got different skin needs, we're all shopping on different budgets. We also all have different amount of time that we can and want to dedicate to our face. So I think for me, what makes a good skincare routine is actually the simpler the better. I don't think a good routine needs to be really complicated and laborious. Like it shouldn't be that. It should be a joy to create and a joy to do. I don't think it needs to be this really over excessive, multiple layered, multiple stepped regime, because no one's going to be able to stick to that. Yeah. And I think that's the key as well to a great regime. It's sticking to it and you know, using the same product for a long period of time, or using a product and letting it actually have time to work. Because, you know, products don't work just with one shot overnight. You know, that just doesn't exist. That's not how our skin works either. Our skin needs time. So a good routine, I think, is a simple one that you repeat for a while.
And you mentioned obviously, like, the longer you use a product, the more you can get a sense of whether that's right for you and right for your skin. And I just wondered, Mike, what your thoughts were on kind of how long we should be using products to get a sense of, are they right for us, before we perhaps decide they're not the one for us, or, you know, what's the right level of time to kind of give products a chance?
Well, it's a really good point, because I mean, it does depend on the end benefit you're trying to achieve. But you know, if we talk about the appearance of lines and wrinkles, it takes years to develop our lines and wrinkles. So we're not going to improve the appearance overnight. We do have to invest in them for the long term to make differences in that appearance. And similarly, if it's to do with healthy skin and getting to more balanced, healthy looking skin, the skin takes 4 to 6 weeks to turn over. And so you're going to have to stick with a product, a new product, for at least 4 to 6 weeks. One skin cell cycle, one skin turnover cycle, really, to understand if it's right for you, I think.
Okay, so actually longer than probably people realise when they first maybe try a product out and just try it a couple of times.
I think so. I think so, Sarah. I think there's become an obsession in sort of faster and faster benefits. Mm-hmm. But, you know, your skin has to adapt. If it does anything new and you change your lifestyle, there's an adaptation kind of process that the skin has to go through before actually it knows whether a new product or technology is suitable for it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you.
I think as well, what's quite nice about that idea is that it's such a counterbalance to perhaps so many other elements of our lives, that we're so used to everything being so quick and so fast. You know, we have fast fashion, we have fast food, you know, and actually there's something about your skincare routine, about standing in your bathroom, at your bathroom sink, or wherever you do it, and actually just taking some time out from all that fast-paced life, and slowing down for a second and focusing on yourself, which again, for a lot of people, they don't get the chance to do. You know, if you're busy working, if you're a parent or whatever, you know, you're always thinking about everybody else. But actually, when it comes to you standing in front of your mirror and dedicating some time to you and making that moment a skincare ritual that you do morning and night, every day, and it becomes part of your routine, your daily routine. I think there's something really quite precious about that, and you know, becomes, like I said, like a sort of a backlash almost to perhaps what the rest of your day might look like.
Yeah, I love that, and I think it really plays to that kind of trend we're seeing around the bathroom becoming the sanctuary. You know, there's no screens. It's a moment for kind of everyone to just kind of take a step back and de-stress. And I've found this amazing cleanser that I use at night. It's got some really lovely essential oils in that. It's kind of a hot oil cleanser that I use, and then use a cloth to take it off. And it is such a nice experience. And I don't think I could go to sleep now without that part of my ritual, because it's just so kind of ingrained in my evening routine. So you're right. It's around finding those things that can kind of help us calm and de-stress and kind of trigger what's coming next. In a world now of social media and selfies, where, you know, especially when we're spending time since COVID kind of looking at ourselves more on screens, be it on Zoom or whatever, you know, there is an impact, isn't there, on our self-esteem, you know, for constantly looking at our faces. What impact do you think that's having on us potentially?
I think it's a really interesting question, because there's, I think, two kind of quite clear sides to it. On one side, yes, we are spending more time now, perhaps than ever before, with the environment that COVID has created for most of us, of sitting in front of our laptops, like the three of us are now, and we're looking at ourselves talking, which, you know, we've never really experienced before. And so, of course, for lots of us, that means that you're analysing what you look like more than ever, and perhaps obsessing over it a little bit too much. And you know, what effect is that having on how we feel about ourselves? You know, there could be some negativity around that. However, I also think perhaps on the flip side of that, because of the situation that we find ourselves in, we're now, you know, all in our home settings. It's where we hopefully feel at our most comfortable and relaxed. It's a much more natural and authentic version of ourselves that we're putting across to whoever we're, you know, our friends that we're doing, you know, socializing with at night, or our work colleagues, or whatever it is that you're doing. You know, you're really putting across, you know, your true self. This is who I am, this is where I live, and this is my life. And so actually, I wonder if there's quite a lot of people who perhaps are discovering the true version of themselves, you know, even stripped down to the fact that none of us have been able to get to the hairdresser for however many weeks, so our natural hair colour is finally coming out. You know, we can't get our nails done, or, you know, if you get lashes done or anything like that, it's all gone, you know, and we're putting out what we actually really look like. And again, I think that's something really to be embraced and celebrated, and hopefully, you know, I'm not saying we're not going to go back to the hairdressers and our facialists and whatever, because I'm first in line, but I think there's so much that we can take from this, and you know, and hopefully carry that forward. It's a philosophy that at Boots Health and Beauty we've always had, because we don't retouch any of the imagery that we create, because we believe that we should put out you know, what skin looks like, what real skin looks like. Real skin isn't airbrushed. You know, we all have pores, we all have, you know, creases and, you know, kinks in our skin, and our skin tones, whatever colour it may be, it's not one uniform shade all over. We have highs and lows in our complexions, and that's what makes it so special. And that has to be something that, you know, is put out there for everyone to see, because, you know, so much of, unfortunately, what people do see on social media and other places is a very a very fake version of what real should be. And that can affect people's confidence about how they look, because they don't see anything that they can relate to. When I talk about subjects like this, someone that really springs to my mind is an amazing woman called Lou Northcott, who we interviewed earlier in the year, and she starred in one of our beauty shoots. She's a model, but she's also a sort of positive skin campaigner. Mm-hmm. She has acne herself, and had kind of got to the point where she was a bit sick and tired of not seeing skin, you know, out in the world that looked anything like her skin. So she put a post out on social media of her skin as it is normally, no makeup, no filters, no nothing, and created a hashtag called Free the Pimple. And it just exploded. And now she's created a whole community of people who are celebrating their skin in natural form. And I just think that's what skin confidence is about. It doesn't matter if your skin, you know, isn't perfect. No one's skin is perfect. Your skin is your skin, and it's great, and it's doing a brilliant job, whatever it looks like. And that's what should be celebrated. And that's, you know, that's where you have to find your confidence.
I love that whole notion around celebrating your imperfections, because, as you say, we're all different, and, you know, our skin's going to change as we grow older and in many different ways. And I saw a new brand, you might have seen it, that's come out, which actually have created spot stickers. So when you've got a spot, you almost like put the sticker on, it's got a little star on, and it's kind of saying, yeah, I've got a spot, but who cares? You know, that's just life. And kind of celebrating it. And I just think the more we can kind of encourage, you know, people just embracing their skin and who they are in it, I think the better the world will be, because, you know, you only have to look at kind of, I guess, the rates of mental health and kind of how that's, you know, kind of mental health cases are increasing, you know, at the same time that social engagement's increasing as well. And there must be a correlation between kind of, you know, a lot of that retouching and filtering that's kind of going on and kind of how people are feeling.
I think, Sarah, that's absolutely the case when we're talking about skin concerns and skin disease. Dermatologists know about the impact of skin on psychosocial elements. And a big part of trying to reduce that is acceptance, actually accepting that this is my skin, and knowing how to manage your skin condition over time with the right help, what triggers it to be a bit worse or a bit better, understanding that. But acceptance is really important, that this is my skin, you know.
Yeah, definitely. And I guess moving on to a slightly different topic now. So you said that you were a real skincare junkie. So what would your kind of skincare essentials be if you were on that desert island? What 5 products would you take with you?
So, confession, I knew you were going to ask me about 5, and I haven't managed to sort of bring it down to 5. I got to 6, and that was hard. But let me start with, so my first product is a cleanser, and I am obsessed with washing my face. I just love it. So my cleanser at the moment is actually quite a new find. It's Wishful Clean Genie Cleansing Butter, which is Wishful is the skincare brand from beauty guru Huda. And I have sort of typical combination skin, so it gets dry in patches and then quite oily in others. And I find cleansing butters, cleansing balms are just really great for my skin type. And then my next 2 products, and I know Mike is an avid fan of this product category, is serums. because I cannot live without serums. For me, they are the like powerhouse in my regime. So I have loads upstairs, but I've whittled it down to two. The first is the Ole Henriksen Banana Bright Vitamin C Serum. It's a combination of vitamin C and hyaluronic acid. In the evening, I turn to an absolute beauty icon. I've used this for more years than I care to remember. And it's Estee Lauder Advanced Night Repair. I feel very sciencey with it because it comes with a pipette. So, you know, you feel like you're in a lab slightly, makes it also a bit serious. Again, packed with hyaluronic acid. It just sinks in, but it has a little bit of slip to it as well. On the nights that I don't use that, I use, and this is much loved, as you will see, and it's about, again, I dread to think how many tubes of this I've got through. But look, I love it so much, I fold it down so I can get everything.
I can't even work out what it is.
So this is the La Roche-Posay Redermic Night Moisturizer. It's a retinol. I find it doesn't sensitize my skin at all. So for me, it's a brilliant product. As with all retinols, I use it at night because that's the best time to use retinol, when your skin's not exposed to the sun. I go nowhere without SPF on my face, even on the days it's cloudy, it's rainy, like whatever. My husband is always like, why are we putting sun cream on? And those UV rays will get you, because they will.
Yeah.
And there are lots out there that are all amazing. You know, there are inexpensive ones that are just equally as fab. The one that I've got here is Privage City Smart. It is not cheap. Mm-hmm. However, there's a very good reason I like this. I am a runner. I run almost every day outside. And this is one of the few SPFs that, when I get very, very sweaty, doesn't seem to go into my eyes and make them sting. So that is the reason I've chosen this one.
So Mike, as our kind of resident skincare guru, what would you say are the top products that we should all have in our routine?
Well, Sarah, actually, some of mine are quite similar to SJ's. Honestly, we didn't collude in this at all. But from the science point of view, what's good for your skin? I think the first thing would always be a daily moisturizer with SPF. As SJ has said, the additional element to it, though, is that I would have 5-star UVA protection in it. And I'm very conscious of this at the moment because I'm sitting in front of a big window. And of course, up to 50% of the UVA rays, which penetrate deeper into the skin, causing a lot of damage, can penetrate through glass. So I've had lots of people ask me, really, should I really be wearing SPF day creams inside? You're just trying to sell more products. But actually, the reality is that up to 50% of that UVA comes through the glass and can actually age your skin prematurely. And we've done a nice research study that shows that if actually you have window on one side of your face and not on the other, and you do that over many, many years, you can actually look older on one side of your face than the other because of the impact of the UVA. So my first choice would be SPF 15 at least, with 5-star UVA protection. Now, my second choice would have to be retinol. And the reason for that is I think retinol is probably one of the most, if not the most, dermatologist proven cosmeceutical, as I call it. So a cosmetic ingredient with loads of proof behind it in terms of clinical studies. Now, importantly, it's about the concentration and it's about how you use it. Ramping up in retinol is really important to make sure that your skin adapts to the retinol, especially if you're new to retinol. But we've had a very recent number 7 launch in this space, and it's all been about trying to deliver really great retinol performance, but without the side effects and the tolerance issues that people associate with high concentrations of retinol. We know lots of people are afraid of retinol, but there's no need to be. if you go with a great brand. And of course, it delivers multifunctional results relatively quickly because it acts on the top layers of the skin, can improve your radiance, complexion, it can make your pores less visible, amongst lots of other things. So retinol is great. My third choice would be serums. And the reason for that is that I've lived and sweated through serum development on number 7 for the years that I've been at Boots. So I know the ins and outs of all our serums. And of course, there's a lot of proof that accompanies them. They are very single-minded, they're very targeted, and they therefore have the highest concentration of active ingredients usually. And at Boots, I mean, the way I think about it is that serums are like delivery systems, and they combine all that healthcare expertise that we have in drug delivery with all our cosmetic skincare science as well, to make sure we're designing these formulations that are really effective at delivering the cosmetic ingredients into the skin really efficiently to where they need to get to. So serums would definitely be on my list. I think my fourth one would be a format that maybe some people don't know much about, and that's pastes. Pastes are relatively new to us, but they are used not every night, but they would be used once or twice a week maybe. They are thicker products, and they're very much associated with leaving skin feeling and looking much more healthy and balanced. Use them overnight. They can be quite occlusive. That doesn't mean that they feel greasy. It just means with that occlusive environment, you can actually get lots of renewal processes going on in the skin, which is really beneficial. So pastes, and there are a number to choose from, really great. And the consumer reviews, customer reviews on pastes on the number 7 brand, for example, are brilliant. So go and try them out if you haven't tried them out.
I haven't tried a paste actually. That's really good to know, because I'm a big fan of face masks, but having just heard you, I'm thinking I need to give paste a go as another option.
And actually, Sarah, face masks, I mean, pastes in a way are like masks, but they're scientific. They're almost a more scientific mask. So well worth trying them out.
Actually, I find, sorry, Mike, just butting in there, the really great thing with pastes, because I've used a couple. Liz Earle have an amazing one, the number 7 one, Your Good Skin, and they're quite unlike any other product category that's out there, because like Mike said, they're a bit thicker in consistency. So you apply it on your face, and you can see it there, and then you just leave it. And they sink in very quickly though. So it's almost like an intensive, I think you would really only use them at night, to be honest, because you do need the time for them to sort of sink in, and because they are that little bit thicker.
I think the final technology that I'd be thinking about are around peels. As SJ mentioned as well, and similarly, you wouldn't use them every night, but you would use them once or twice a week, maybe 3 times a week, depending on the concentration. Glycolic acid, of course, and alpha hydroxy acid is the mainstay of the peels, and it's about concentration, making sure that there's enough in there. And again, it produces pretty quick results, because the way it works is by breaking those little linkages in the skin cells on the surface, allowing those dry skin flakes to slough off, and that kind of leaves you with a very healthy, radiant, renewed skin surface. So always I'd be recommending a peel, but don't use them in combination with your retinol, all right? So you mustn't use them in combination with your retinol.
And is that because of the damage that they can cause when they're combined together?